Andrew, just quick summation of your thoughts after that one today.
Yeah, statistically it's a really interesting game. We only lost entry by about 5 or 6 in the end, but clearly their class was at a far different level to ours. Fundamentals of the game was superior and a real challenge for us all day. And their run probably was significant too. They're probably the best running team in the comp. And I thought they showed that today. They just were able to get on the outside of us far too often and transition the ball too well. So that's a level we have to get to.
I think it was an extra 100 uncontested possessions as well. How do you stop that? Like, you obviously didn't today. Is it a lack of pressure from you guys, or is it a mix of them being really good at it and that lack of pressure?
So I think it's both. They had about 420 and I think we had 305 possessions. So we're incredibly low and they're probably just a bit higher than AFL average. So we need to get better with our fundamentals to be able to control the ball a bit more, whether that's via hand or foot. It's a challenge for us at the moment. We're under no illusions where we're at. And the only way to get out is to get to work and train really hard and improve.
Did you feel like you got it right at the selection table this week, dropping Harry Edwards, considering Jesse Hogan kicked 9?
Yeah, he took about 6 contested marks. It's an easy one to say now, I suppose, but I actually thought, this is going to sound crazy, but I thought Sandy Brock actually defended quite well and showed some moments, but their class, their supply and his talent was just a bit too much for us at times.
When you run through why, though, Harry did come out of the side, considering they have such a tall and powerful forward line?
Yeah, they do. So there's a bit about our... if statistically they're not aerially the biggest threat in the league in their front half, as much as Jesse Hogan is, that hasn't been a theme for them overall for the whole season. So, and we just wanted to create a bit more offense in our back half as well. We've been stuck a fair bit in the back half. So I think I've spoken about this a few times where we don't know where our team's going to finish up when we hit our straps. So we're going to be exploring some things, and it's a fine balance between settling our players and trying to find our best team as well.
You said that Sandy had a good game. How do you ensure that he doesn't lose too much confidence, considering it was 9 goals?
Yeah, that's a fair question. We'll support him. We'll go back and look at the tape. I'm sure Sandy hasn't got everything right. But I think ultimately when you have that much ease with your flow of ball through the middle of the ground, he could put Stephen Silvani on him in the back line. He still would have kicked a few today.
As you said, the inside 50s differential was too great, but what sort of changes were you looking to make to slow down, I guess, the goal rush that was happening, especially late in the game there?
Yep, so there was probably 2 periods where they got goals quick in succession. So at the start of the second quarter, they kicked 4 centre bounce goals, which really breaks your heart, to be honest. So we knew we had a young midfield today. We chose to go into the game with that young midfield, and there were some challenges there, and they got a lot of class through that area of the ground. So we made some changes there, and then late in the game also they started to get away from us, so we also made some structural changes late in the game. But yeah, unfortunately we couldn't stop the bleeding.
And you had that young midfield, as you said, but yeah, Harley Reid spent considerable time in defence or in half back. Was that sort of a plan you're willing to stick to as like for a longer term benefit, or what's the thinking?
Yeah, Harley would have been the second youngest in that midfield, so he's not like he's old going back in there. But yeah, we think Harley, he's grown in his game again today for mine. I thought he looked dangerous at times in the back half, and it was an easy one to just flick him back in there. But yeah, we're going to keep trying to explore some things.
He got into the game more in the second half, at least in terms of getting his hands on the ball. Was there anything in particular that impressed you, the way that he sort of bounced back from a quieter first half?
Look, I thought he looked damaging at times. He was able to get some real territory with the ball and be able to use his power and strength and run. So that's something we were excited by, and we'll keep looking to explore.
Talking about us now, perhaps going into defence this game, can you talk about perhaps why you didn't opt to make that switch?
So the Giants are one of the best intercept marking teams in the competition, particularly Sam Taylor. So we actually gave Oscar the role on Sam Taylor today, and I thought he competed really well. It was a step in the right direction. I know probably didn't hit the scoreboard like he would have liked, but yeah, that was just a choice we made going into this game.
Andrew, you spoke about the matchup issue maybe for Harry Edwards. Is there anything more in his game that you're looking for as
Look, I'm not going to sort of go into specifics as to why our players are selected or not. That's something I do with them in private. So Harry's really clear on what he's working on in his game. And he's one of many of our players, all of our players right now, that we clearly need to improve and get better, which we're going to put a lot of work into.
Noah Long was subbed out today. Is he battling for a bit of confidence at the moment?
I'm not sure about confidence. You'd have to ask Noah, but certainly not. He's had a tough few weeks, as some of our ball movement at time hasn't been ideal for Noah and our smalls. But yeah, that's the rules at the moment. You have to sub someone out to sub someone in, and that was Noah today.
Andrew, can you take us into the mindset of a coach? Like you said on Hogan that maybe a sauce is on him, he still picks those goals today. What do you do during the week to kind of prepare your defenders for that sort of matchup? And I guess obviously still young in your own coaching career, what would you kind of do differently with a matchup like that?
Yeah, so we've got a defensive coach, Luke Webster, who spends a lot of time with our players preparing them each week, as every AFL club does. That's just what we do in terms of preparation. But ultimately, with Giants' forward line, you need to have good pressure on the ball. And as soon as they're able to lift their eyes, you'll see, looking back at the tape, their ability to just put it to Hogan's advantage. And as good a player as he is, he only needs a slight advantage. And then his hands were like vices at times today.
And Marty mentioned the third quarter where you got a bit of momentum. I think it was 5 centre clearances to 0 to your guys in that third term. I mean, you must take positives out of that that's maybe a time where the Giants could have kicked away, but you guys really kind of held your own.
Yeah, we made a decision at halftime not to flip all the magnets. I think that could have been something we have done. Maybe we've done a bit too much in my short time already. So we gave them some clear instructions at halftime and gave them a chance to sort of redeem that area of the ground. So it was, for a young midfield, I thought that was a positive that they were able to fight their way through it a little bit on a challenging day.
You were a connections coach while you were at a mission with the players. You've got a unique opportunity now to spend a week with them. How do you look to try and use the next few days and the next 6 days to try and gain some confidence in this group and show them that the right direction you're heading and maybe work on some things?
Yeah, so it's an awesome opportunity to go away and spend time together. There's no doubt about that. But yeah, we're just going to review this game as we do. We'll get really clear on our system where we need to improve. There'll be lots to come out of it from that point of view, and we just have to get to work on the track and training and in the shed at work and all the extra parts of this game that requires you to be at the level that the Giants are currently at. They're clearly a very well coached, very good team. They'll be competing towards the pointy end of the season. I think that's what, we're a bit away from there now, but that's what we're aspiring to be.
Do you look to maybe have some light-hearted moments and a bit of fun considering the boot of such a young group and try and show them that footy's not such a chore, it's a good experience to be part of a club?
Yeah, it's a good point. We hopefully we spend every week like that. We don't want our guys ever coming to work feeling like it's a chore. But we need to understand that the level we're at is clearly not AFL standard. And it's not going to be competing when we want to be competing. So we'll balance the fun aspect out with really trying hard to improve and get better at our game.
One positive is young Tom Cross, I thought, really played well and grew into the game, especially in that second half and kicked that nice long-range goal. You must be happy with what you saw.
Yeah, I think all of our young players had some really nice moments. It was great for Grossi to kick a goal. I think Archer Reed grew again in his game. Ryan Marrick's still young. I think we're seeing him play well every week. So, yeah, there's certainly, some young guys are going to get some opportunity within our team. So to see them be able to play at the level will help them fuel some belief that they belong and help us improve.
Do you think it's good that you are versing the benchmark teams and the young guys are getting a lot of experience, just taking them on and seeing what you have to take, what it takes to play at the AFL standard?
Yeah, yep. I think it's awesome for our guys to play against the best players in the competition. There's no doubt they learn a lot from it, but ultimately our job is to close the gap as quick as we can. So the only benefit we get out of that is if we actually learn something from the players we're playing against. So as a coaching group, we'll ensure that we get that done during the week with our players.
Thank you.
So,